4 police officers from the anti-robbery department at Mufulira Central Police Station have been arrested in connection with the murder of Detective Constable Nelson Simbeye, a police officer who was found dead in his house with bullet wounds and an AK-47 rifle in his hand on 23 October 2020 at Sikalangwe Police Camp in Mufulira. Following an inquest into Constable Simbeye's death, the Mufulira Magistrates Court ruled that through testimonies of expert witnesses presented to the court by state prosecutors Winners Nkwendenda and Hojison Siachinzonzo, it had been proved that Constable Simbeye did not die of suicide but was murdered, and ordered that his 4 office mates, namely Detective Sergeant Jameson Lundu Luvaya, Detective Sergeant Waluka Wallace Chilombe, Detective Sergeant Marvin Manda, and Detective Sergeant Ben Siakalundu, be arrested and charged with murder. Magistrate Sharon Luhanga said the presence of a gun from the anti-robbery department at the crime scene implicated the 4 officers who all had access to the red box where the firearms were kept. She said the testimony of a conversation between a taxi driver and Detective Sergeant Lundu at 7 hours on 23 October 2020 showed that the officer was already aware that Simbeye was dead, despite the deceased's body being discovered later around 10 hours. Magistrate Luhanga ruled that the matter should be taken up by a police station outside Copperbelt Province, saying the police investigation officer, Chief Inspector Kennedy Siaziombo, was biased in his investigations and ignored clues that could have easily led him to Simbeye's killers. Earlier, a police intelligence officer, Nchimunya Mambo, testified that following Simbeye's death, the district criminal investigations officer instructed him to collect all firearms from the anti-robbery department due to allegations that they had killed Simbeye, but the firearms were later returned to them without being subjected to ballistic examination. Mr. Mambo testified that following collection of the deceased's body, the 4 officers insisted that they needed to search Simbeye's house, alleging that he had stolen money from the police station despite there being no report of missing money, but abandoned the mission after being informed that the deceased's relatives were on the way to his house. Another witness from the police armory department, Inspector Mkusi Mauluka, testified that in December 2020, the anti-robbery department failed to give an annual report to account on how ammunition had been used. Rachel Chisulo, reporting for Zanis in Mufulira.